Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a new episode of Flesh Wound Farce, where we review and discuss your and our favorite comedy films. This is the world's first and only combination trivia host and professional wrestling announcer of Chilean descent. It currently resides in Southern California, Ozzy V. And with me, as always, on this program, first in the Northern California Bay Area, world-famous juggler Greg Larson. How you doing, Greg?
I'm great. How about yourself, Ozzy?
I'm doing well. A little behind the scenes. A few weeks ago was my birthday. You and Todd were there. That was awesome. But Greg, Todd, I don't want to.
It's okay. I know you haven't even probably watched your Popeye DVD.
No, I swear I've been talking about that DVD and I've been looking forward to getting it in there. Poor choice of words. However, we were just talking about this. Greg, your PlayStation Portal, it's doing wonders because to be able to play PlayStation from the bedroom where there's no TV because you couldn't win that argument makes it such a bonus.
That's a deal breaker for me. I'm out.
Also with us, ladies and gentlemen, Flesh Wound producer Todd. How you doing, Todd?
I can't sleep if the TV's not on.
We use the sound sleep jar. I think it's like an Alexa thing.
See, we got the Sleep Phones headset, so that's...
I need to hear like World's Dumbest or Forensic Files. I need some murders.
yeah, that's what I need to lull me to sleep is forensic murders, unsolved mysteries. Maybe
I do have
the music
to say,
will keep me up. I'm sorry.
With the trip that was down there, so I haven't taken a lot of vacations in the past few years. However, every vacation, when I go to turn on the TV at whatever hotel we're staying at, without fail, that MTV ridiculousness or whatever is always on. Like, that has now become synonymous with vacation.
Oh man, that's hilarious.
And you know what? As a World's Dumbest fan, I have beef with ridiculousness because they stole the format and it's still going, and I miss my World's Dumbest.
That's fair. But
I want Didi Bonaducci, not that whoever that.
But didn't that in essence steal from America's Funniest Home Videos
and probably every VH1 show that Talking Head show?
Yeah.
And Web Soup, if you want to get super specific, from what was that?
Was
the
it
video game channel? No, Web Soup was on. What was the video game show channel?
G4.
Web Soup was on G4, hosted by Chris Hardwick.
Okay.
It was the same format, but they watched internet videos and stuff like that. So they're actually the OGs. But what didn't Chris Hardwick host? So.
Well, wouldn't one say Candid Camera's the OOG?
Candid Camera was but that was like setting up goofy stuff to do. That was like your
wait, hold on a second. Wait. But that was setting up goofy stuff to do. What is 90% of the internet? That's all TikTok is.
Yeah.
I'm also talking about TV.
Here's the thing. I think Candid Camera, you're fooling somebody else. Today, people are just fooling themselves.
Yeah, Candid Camera was the OG punked.
Yes, there you go. That's where you are.
Yeah.
But I don't know if anyone got little kids beaten up over it. What was his name?
I don't know. Back in that day, you used to beat up kids with some sweet Valencia oranges.
Braff, whatever his name. What's the Braff guy?
Zach Braff.
Yeah, he beat up he beat up one of the kids who on punked fake spray painted his Lamborghinis. He caught one of the kids that beat there. Yeah, they cut that part out of the episode, but
that's funny because I remember that episode.
Yes,
that's hilarious.
One of the kids one of the kids took a beat.
That's hilarious. All right, I'm sorry. Enough of this side talk.
Google it.
Ladies and gentlemen, today we are reviewing and discussing The 40-Year-Old Virgin. We released on August 11th, 2005. Todd, do you have a trailer available?
I do.
Way to go, Todd.
Excellent.
I want my flowers.
I want you so bad.
Over the years,
Did you glue this? I wish I had some scissors.
Andy Stitzer has lost a lot of girlfriends. But there's one thing he never lost.
Are you a virgin?
Oh, you are hilarious. This is good.
You're a virgin!
How can you go 40 years and not have sex? I just kind of stopped trying.
We gotta help the man. We cannot let you go on being a virgin. Oh, you gotta highlight your attributes. Just wax that Teen Wolf thing off.
Fucker! Oh, I'm sorry. That's just your job. Help! I hate you. Stop smiling.
The problem most men have is they don't know how to talk to women.
What am I supposed to say?
Nothing. Just ask questions.
Are you looking for something?
Is there something I should be looking for?
We have a great section of do it yourself.
Do you like to do it yourself? What am I talking about?
You gotta go somewhere where every girl is looking for a guy.
Welcome to Date-A-Palooza!
I'm Andy, and you are Gina?
Gina. Hey, what's up?
Okay.
I don't know if you've noticed, I'm a little bit voluptuous.
Maybe. Oh, your shirt.
You kind guys. You want to get out of here? Do you think I'm pretty?
Whoa, whoa!
Look at me! Look at me!
I'm looking at your
The fucker came out of nowhere.
From Universal Pictures.
I'm Trish.
Andy, she gave me her number.
My God, man!
And the producer of Anchorman.
We've given you all the advice we have to give. Now you gotta put it in action.
Comes a comedy that will touch you
Maybe we should hold off on the physical part for a while.
like you've never been touched before.
Life isn't about sex, it's about love. It's not about fucking and balls and butthole pleasures.
It's not about butthole pleasures at all.
Pussy juice cocktail and these shit-stained balls.
Please stop.
And it's not about this rusty trombone and the dirty Sanchez, Cincinnati bow tie.
The 40-Year-Old Virgin.
All right, that was the Red Band trailer of 40-Year-Old Virgin, again released on August 11th, 2005. Theatrically released, rated R, with a runtime of 1 hour 56 minutes. The unrated, which is what we are reviewing and discussing today, a runtime of 2 hours and 12. Directed by Judd Apatow, written by Apatow and Steve Carell, also starring Steve Carell and Catherine Kenner, Paul Rudd, Seth Rogen, Bomani Jones. You even had a cameo from Kevin Hart, which completely threw me. Shocked me because I completely.
He wasn't Kevin Hart then, so you didn't.
He wasn't
register.
Kevin Hart then, exactly. But you see it now, you're like, wow, this is very entertaining. So initial thoughts on this. That what I loved so much about like Anchorman and this movie is this seemed like a turning of like just of how comedies were being made. This like Adam McKay and these Judd Apatow movies kind of really changed things. Old school. I mean, we've talked about it. Will Ferrell that has said nobody wanted to talk to me about Anchorman until Old School happened, and then Anchorman happened, and then you had Paul Rudd and Steve Carell come at it. And the funny thing about found this in Steve Carell, we saw this in the trailer for the hot wax, right on the chest. That is his actual chest hair that is actually being waxed.
So it's a little part jackass with that because you got some realism in
right,
there.
But at the same time, it's interesting. Well, at least it was interesting for me because when Steve Carell was on the Daily Show, he had a segment, or he would have segments, but sometimes he would do just like really gross things that you just think, oh my God, is he really doing that? The one thing I think to mind is when he just takes a spoonful of Crisco. Like he does this fake news report where he says, no, these doctors say Crisco's good for you. So I just like taking a big old scoop and he eats it on the air and he's chewing it. And you're just kind of like, oh, Todd, you're saying like part jackass a little bit, but it's not just the act. It's the comedy around the act.
Oh yeah.
And it's him writing this with Apatow. So having that scene and writing around that scene, it makes it much better than just like it is a jackass level act. However, there's a reason for it, and the whole story calls for it, which sets it makes it.
I just meant he was doing it legit. It was
yes,
dude,
yes.
Yeah.
And you could actually in the scene, you actually see the little spots of blood come up. Oh boy. But I apologize for getting what might have been perceived as a favorite moment. That was not it. Just a little thought about this film and its place in, for lack of a better term, comedic cinematic history.
I always kind of say like American Pie was the tipping point. Well, I'd still go back to that with the comedy, but the one thing with this is this took that and gave it to the adult comedies though, because that was still a teenage movie.
Go. Yeah.
It took that same style of humor, but brought it into adult pictures, I guess you'd say.
I was thinking a similar idea because, like, in the sense of the American Pie movies kind of crossed a line to allow us to accept a different type of comedy.
Right.
But then these movies kind of brought back the next level, like the maturity of comedy, like a deeper level of comedy, like our Mel Brooks films that we all grew up and loved, where it blends that ridiculousness with some just great sophisticated humor with it as well.
Nice.
I'd have grown for ridiculousness. So.
Rob Drydeck is pissed at you right now, Todd.
Who? I don't even. I can turn on MTV and I'll see his face, I'm sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Todd, initial thoughts?
This is one of the biggest travesties in all of motion picture history. While watching this film, they are playing the song Rump Shaker, while on the video screens, they are clearly playing Sir Mix-a-Lot's Put 'Em on the Glass music video. I saw that. I was like, what the hell is going on? I cannot believe this. So there's my initial thought.
They put that in there for people like you, Todd. They wanted,
I'm sure they
wanted to make sure they had your attention.
I was like, no, because I would have much rather heard Put 'Em on the Glass. Classic Sir Mix-a-Lot. But anyway,
maybe that was originally on there, and then somebody at Universal was like, we don't want that song. We want another song.
You know what? Rump Shaker, Rex and Effect were on Universal Music Group.
Look at that. So I bet the script originally was for Sir Mix-a-Lot, but then, things had to happen.
I'll be honest. It makes more sense. It's a more popular song. It wasn't Baby Got Back. So Rump Shaker makes sense, but the visuals are great for Put 'Em on the Glass. So I got to put that video over.
Okay. So there you go. Everything's okay now.
Yeah, I worked it through, so now I can enjoy the film. No,
good.
Saw this way back when it came out. It was just that wave of comedy, and it kicked it off. Like, I've been a fan, so I don't know where else to go with that. I mean,
yeah. Well, let's just get into some of our favorite moments. This movie's chock full of them. I had a repeat occurrence because it wasn't. I mean, it was one line, but it was said multiple times, and each time it happened, it always popped me. And that was when one guy would tell somebody to go screw a goat. Anytime he delivered, and the line isn't screw, but it's. And then he even mentioned, "You always telling me to screw a goat. What does that mean?" And then he just repeats it more times, and the accent and the randomness of the line itself puts it over the top for me, and I laugh every single time. It had in the theater, I remember laughing, and that just now I remember laughing. But I can say that in the theater, I remember specifically what got the most laughs was Leslie Mann's line of saying, "That guy came out of nowhere." In the theater, that got the biggest laugh out of everything. And I thought that was interesting, I guess. I don't know. I think it was because what that particular line following after everything that had just happened, I think made that even more humorous because they made it from the bar to her house without getting in an accident. And just as she's there, gets an accident and then delivers that line. So I think that's probably what happened in the theater. But right now, this dude saying, "Go screw a goat," it's pretty funny. Todd?
Oh, you're going straight to me. All right.
I just said mine.
I do have a random trivia fact, but I'm gonna Jay. Anything Jay says, I'm on board. Slay 3-4 of them hood rat. Like there's so much good stuff from him. I bet you didn't know this. Did you know Jay, or the actor who played him, Romani, or is it Romay Malik? He was actually in very pop. Well, I'll go one hit wonder. He was in a rap group called the College Boys, and they had a big hit. And their second single was called Hollywood Paradox, and it's kind of like talking crap on like people going to Hollywood and like basically he did what he said in the song. Like I don't want to say he sold out, but like going and kind of playing that typical black character, which is kind of what he is in this. But I just thought that's a funny thing. But everything,
in all fairness, he does stand up to Kevin Hart.
He does.
The two of them like
So
having
good.
their confrontation, like when it's this, the one shot is when they're standing like very close to each other, but they're looking off into the distance, like, and they're still like jawing. That was hilarious.
Well, I'll say the one line: "Put the pussy on the pedestal. Don't put the pussy on the pedestal." that one's been quoted numerous times and slayed 3-4 of them hood rats. I don't know how many times I've said that in my life. So Jay will always be my favorite character, even if he kind of sold out to do it. But whatever, fuck it. God damn it! God damn it! I haven't been able to cuss in like 4 days. So.
Well, all right. I'm sorry for your difficult challenge, Todd.
Well, I'm glad I didn't bring up you. How do I know you're gay? Because that's a whole nother thing. That's just a long leap.
Glad you didn't bring it up indeed.
All right, sorry. I hope that wasn't yours.
No. Although I was nervous you were going to take mine, especially when you mentioned Jay, because the scene involves Jay, and it's when Jay is trying to get Steve Carell's character to cover for him, and Steve Carell starts getting into his kind of like trying to act all hard, that he uses a few terms I might not be able to say on the show, but it's Steve Carell covering and trying to be a little hard character, like that got me the whole time. So yeah, and because he didn't stop, like he did a little bit, and you're like, okay, there it is, and then it just kept going, and even Jay was like, okay.
I got another one, so I'm sure Ozzy does. So I got one more, and it's another just one line. Am I cool?
Yeah, go
I don't know
for
if
it.
you're gonna do another round. And it's one that like you really gotta like be an erotic thriller fan. So be David Caruso from Jade. That advice before he goes to hit on the bookstore girl. And I love that they both got it, even though like that's like a total like random joke. I know Dan popped the hardest for that one. I'll tell you that right now.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. I'll add you look like a man-o-lantern after the last that was great.
So that's the thing. There's so many like good lines. That's why it's just like for me, it was like everything Jay. He's just he's the reason this is very watchable for me.
I do have to say there was a moment that like hit close to home, because there's so many moments in life that I feel for this character, but when Jonah Hill goes in to buy the boots, and he's like, so I can't just buy them here. There's so many moments in life where I'm like, why are you making life so difficult? So I think I connected with him in that moment, and I appreciated him.
Yes, a great cameo from Jonah Hill with his line about the shoes. How about I just give you money and I take them? I just want to take these, but you're making things difficult. Like just his specific delivery with his own.
Too bad eBay didn't have buy it now yet. He could have just went on there and bought.
Yeah, right.
That was all the old bidding days.
Right. Greg, did you only have one, or was
no?
That
those are my two. Yeah.
Okay, great. So going into this rating, and like Todd had mentioned, there's so many one-liners, and there's paired with so many funny moments that for me, it would be very challenging to not watch this movie and for it to be a feel-good comedy. But at the same time, I think, and this goes into the credit of the writing, that I think it's almost impossible to feel or to not feel any sympathy for Steve Carell's character in the movie, and how things happen and the way things manifest towards the end is such a great Like it's a good payoff. So, but absolutely definite 5 for me.
I do have to. Part of me wants to knock off some points for the uh, portrayal that one who has collectibles, is this guy who can't be socially acceptable, and
We're gonna get into that. I got a question for Ozzy after the ratings. You know where we're going.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
But I think this movie is fantastic. It's very funny, has good story all around. Like, I don't know how you can't enjoy this film. So, 100%, it's 5 for me.
I am also on, and I'm gonna tell you something. Like, I used to prefer the theatrical version. I thought it was a better pace, and I still probably think it probably is, but because the longer version, it's 50 minutes, it's padding, but the padding that's in there is so entertaining. It makes it worth it now. Like before, I was like, 2 hours and 15. Some of the stuff isn't needed, which it's not, but it's just a lot of the riffing is in that unrated version, and that's the stuff that you get the big laughs. So I used to knock off a little for the extended version. Now, this time it didn't drag. 5 out of 5. Very funny picture. Now, Ozzy, I have a question for you.
Okay.
Do you know what this film created from the IMDb message boards?
What this film created from the IMDb message boards?
You probably don't remember the IMDb message where you used to be able to comment on all the films, and you remember old message boards they used to have.
Poop shoot.
Yeah, stuff like that.
From Jay and Silent Bob, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and that was like, so you could comment on every movie. This film, this message board, before IMDb wiped it all from the internet, and probably this is part of the reason it's gone. This is where incels were born.
Really?
The message board, they all kind of came in there, not happy about the way they were being portrayed. This is where it all started. And it got bad, so
oh boy,
I can't say it created incels, but it created the term and gave them a place to all incel together. So
wow,
yeah,
yikes.
Well, makes sense though, doesn't it?
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I can see that. Okay, well,
should have just listened to the Jay's advice, and they all would have been fun. Maybe not all of them.
That's right. Don't put it on a pedestal.
That's right.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was our review and discussion of The 40-Year-Old Virgin. That is currently available. That I will find out momentarily, and I'll actually take this time. Just a quick announcement for this Saturday, July 27th. I apologize. July 27th in La Mirada, California, where I literally grew up just down the street at the UFC gym. It'll be 3PWA. Check it out. I'll be announcing there, providing my commentary services as well. That'll be at 7 o'clock again at the UFC gym in La Mirada, just down the street from my hometown. Literally, there was a movie theater in this same block before it moved to the other side. That was right next door to what used to be actually a Toys R Us. This UFC gym used to be a Toys R Us, and it was my neighborhood Toys R Us.
I believe
a lot of memories in that building. Sorry, go ahead.
I believe that's the motion picture theater I saw Return to Oz 30 some years ago too. The La Mirada one.
I saw Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade in that movie.
Try one of the last movies at the old one too.
Yeah, so there's a lot of sentimental value I have for the area.
And I'll also be there too, so you can come say hello to me if you're there.
Todd will be there as well. He might be really annoyed if something's not working. So apologies in advance if he seems.
I'm nice to everyone.
And much taller in person. I just met Todd for the first time at your party, and I've only seen him sitting.
Well, right now you're only about I'm only 3 inches tall. Our angles.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, for those waiting to hear if they can stream this, 40-Year-Old Virgin is currently available to stream on Amazon Prime. So if you're a Prime subscriber or subscribe to the Stars, looks like Stars is has that as well. Of course, available to be purchased digitally via your favorite digital content provider. And so we did the wrestling announcement. Also announcing this week, I'll be hosting trivia Monday at the Rush Barn Grill at Lake Forest at 6:30, Tuesday at the Brewery in Placentia at 7 o'clock, Wednesday in Los Alamitos, Griffin's Grill 7:30, and Thursday in Anaheim at the Honey Pot Meadery 7:30 as well. Always free to play and prizes for the top winning teams. Todd and Greg, do you have anything else before we head out the evening?
I just have a question for Todd. And
Yes, sir.
maybe we shouldn't bring this up here or not, but you have an ever-evolving collection behind you, and there's
Yes.
a blurry item behind you that I can't tell. That's not like an Ed Grimley poster, is it?
Where?
Other side, your head's blocking it now.
No.
There you
Oh
go.
no, that is Troma's Shakespeare's S Storm. I can't say. I'm trying. I don't want to beep.
Okay.
I already got to beep. But Shakespeare's Shitstorm. One of a Troma film, Lloyd Kaufman. But I actually do have an Ed Grimley doll. So like
Really?
like the
Impressive.
like the pull strings. I'll have to. Yeah.
So,
They didn't sell as well as the Pee Wee Herman dolls, but
he pulled his own string. Hi-yo.
Hey. And on that note, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, so much for joining us. For world famous juggler Greg Larson and Flesh Wound producer Todd, I'm Ozzy V, and we'll see you next week right here on a brand new episode of Flesh Wound Farce.